What is the square root of a negative 1? Your calculator says error. Your teacher said impossible, but what if I told you this impossible number is secretly running your entire world right now? Join me on a 500-year journey from mathematical crisis to technological revolution. Our story begins in Renaissance Italy, 1545. A mathematical crisis is about to unfold that will haunt brilliant minds for centuries. Meet Gerolamo Cardano, physician, gambler, astrologer, and mathematical genius. He's about to publish a formula that will break mathematics. Cardano is solving cubic equations using his revolutionary formula. This equation looks simple, and we know it has real solutions. But watch what happens when he applies his formula. The solution requires taking the square root of negative 121. This is impossible. No number squared gives you negative 121. This violates everything mathematics stands for. Yet somehow, when Cardano worked through this impossible arithmetic, treating the square root of negative numbers as if they obeyed normal rules, the final answer was 4, a perfectly normal, real number. This paradox haunted him. 4 cubed minus 15 times 4 minus 4 equals 0. The impossible root led to the correct answer. Cardano wrote in his book, Ars Magna, so subtle and marvelous. Yet it tortures me with its impossibility. Mathematics had hit a wall. 27 years later, an engineer named Rafael Bombelli makes a radical decision. Bombelli was not a university mathematician. He was a practical engineer, and he had a revolutionary idea. What if we stop fighting it? What if we just accept these impossible numbers and work with them? He gave it a name, not the letter I yet that came later, but the concept, a number whose square is negative 1. I squared equals negative 1. This is the fundamental property. Accept this, and a new world opens up. Bombelli wrote, although this seemed to me at first to be based on sophistry rather than truth, the result verified itself. It works, even if we don't understand why yet. But what is this mysterious I? Where does it live? What does it mean? First, let's see something beautiful. I to the first power is just I. I squared equals negative 1. I cubed is negative 1 times I, which equals negative I. And I to the fourth equals 1. We're back where we started. The powers of I cycle every 4 steps. This number has a rhythm, a pattern. It's not chaos, it's a dance. 200 years pass. Then comes Carl Friedrich Gauss. At 22, he proves complex numbers are essential for algebra. But his greatest insight? Revealing where these numbers actually live. Carl Friedrich Gauss, the Prince of Mathematics. And he's about to reveal where these numbers actually live. Gauss said, let's write the numbers as a plus be, where a is real and bi is imaginary. We'll call them complex numbers. Like 3 plus 4i. 3 is the real part, 4i is the imaginary part. But where is 3 plus 4i? It's not on the number line, so where does it exist? Gauss revealed the truth. Real numbers exist on a horizontal line, but there's a second dimension, a vertical axis. This is the complex plane, the horizontal axis for real numbers, the vertical axis for imaginary numbers. Gauss wrote the true metaphysics of the square root of negative 1. Is elusive until we see it in the plane. We've been looking in 1 dimension. Numbers exist in 2. Now watch this revelation. 3 plus 4i, 3 units right on the real axis, 4 units up on the imaginary axis. There it is, a point in two-dimensional space. This number isn't impossible. It was just hiding in a dimension we couldn't see. And look, we can draw a vector from the origin to this point. Complex numbers have both magnitude and direction. But Gauss discovered something even more mind-blowing, something that would change physics forever. What happens when we multiply complex numbers? Multiplication means to scale, to make bigger, right? Wrong, watch this. Start with the number 1, just 1, on the real axis. Here's 1, a vector pointing to the right. Now multiply by I. 1 times I equals what? 1 times I equals I, 0 plus 1i. The vector rotated 90 degrees. It's now pointing straight up. Multiplying by I doesn't change the length. It rotates 90 degrees counterclockwise. Because I has magnitude 1 and angle 90 degrees, it's pure rotation with no scaling. Multiply by I again, I squared equals -1, another 90 degrees. Now we're pointing left. Again, -I 270 degrees. One more, back to 1. We've completed a full 360-degree rotation. This is revolutionary. In the complex plane, multiplication isn't just making bigger. It's rotation plus scaling. We've unlocked a new geometry of arithmetic. Nearly 2 centuries later, the greatest mathematician who ever lived will give us the final piece. Leonhard Euler, and he's about to tie it all together. Euler. Blind in one eye, he still produced more mathematics than almost anyone in history. He's about to write the most beautiful formula ever discovered. Euler's formula. E to the I theta equals cosine theta plus I sine theta. This connects exponentials, trigonometry, and imaginary numbers in one equation. This exponential with an imaginary exponent describes rotation. Cosine gives the horizontal position. I sine gives the vertical position. Together, they trace a circle. Now watch this magic. Set theta equal to pi radians. That's 180 degrees, half a rotation. E to the I pi equals cosine of pi plus I sine of pi. Cosine of pi is -1. Sine of pi is 0. So e to the I pi equals -1. Add 1 to both sides. Euler's identity. E to the I pi plus 1 equals 0. 5 fundamental constants. E, the base of natural growth. I, the imaginary unit. Pi, the circle constant. 1, 0. All connected in perfect harmony. Euler called it a most remarkable connection. This is considered by many to be the most beautiful equation in all of mathematics. So we have this beautiful mathematics, historical drama, brilliant minds. But you might be asking, does any of this actually matter? Let me show you what's really happening, right now, in your world. Everything is running on imaginary numbers. Number 1, electrical engineering. Every power grid, every circuit in your phone, analyzed with complex numbers. Complex impedance, Z equals R plus IX. Resistance plus imaginary reactance. AC current oscillates, it rotates. Complex numbers make the math elegant and solvable. Number 2, quantum mechanics. The theory that describes atoms, electrons, photons, reality at its deepest level. The wave function, psi. It's fundamentally complex valued. The imaginary part isn't optional decoration. It's essential to how particles exist and evolve. Without complex numbers, we literally cannot describe quantum reality. Your computer chips, LEDs, lasers, all quantum devices designed using this mathematics. Number 3. Signal processing. Your Wi-Fi, your cellular connection, streaming video, digital audio. The Fourier transform. Every signal is decomposed into complex exponentials, rotating waves. Without complex numbers, modern digital communication doesn't exist. And there's more. Fluid dynamics for airplane design. Control systems for robotics, fractals, computer graphics, medical MRI scanners. String theory and physics. Antenna design for your phone. The so-called imaginary numbers are running everything in modern technology. One final note, remember Gauss, the prince of mathematics? Gauss absolutely hated the name imaginary numbers. He wrote, "An unfortunate name," which has become a handicap. He argued these numbers are just as real as the ones we call real. He proposed calling them lateral numbers, because they extend laterally, perpendicular to the real axis. A geometric name, not a mystical one. Lateral numbers, not imaginary, not fake, just sideways, in a second dimension we hadn't discovered yet. So let me ask you one final question. What is more real? Numbers we arbitrarily call real that only exist in one dimension? Or numbers we call imaginary that power quantum reality, wireless communication, and modern technology? The square root of -1, born from crisis in 1545, rejected for centuries, called impossible, called imaginary. But it turned out to be real in ways we never imagined, from impossible in the 1600s to indispensable in the 21st century. Sometimes the greatest discoveries come from accepting what seems absurd. From daring to imagine the impossible, that's the story of imaginary numbers. That's the 500-year journey of imaginary numbers. If this story blew your mind, subscribe for more mathematical revelations. Which mathematician's story should we explore next? Let me know in the comments.